Hello everyone, and welcome to today's open day dedicated to the French and Italian Pastry Arts Diploma course. This is a joint program between ALMA and École Ducasse, and it's also a joint open day. So I also invite our French partners from Ducasse who are connected with us today to show up their video camera and their mics so they can join us for today's open day as well.
Yeah, it's done. Hello Diletta, Chef Bertie, hello.
Hello, and welcome to today's open day. Today's open day sees 4 people here connected with you. From Alma's side, there is me, Diletta Carboni. I am in the marketing department in charge of international marketing and the admission process from Alma's side. And with me, we have Chef Matteo Berti, who is the director of education here in Alma. On the École Ducasse side, we have Thibaut D'Amico, who is International Relations Manager for the school, as well as Chef Luc Debove, who is the Director of Education of École Ducasse. Do you want to say something for our guests today?
Quick introduction. Very pleased to organize this webinar with you. Thank you, Diletta. Thank you, Chef Bertie, to organize it. It is always a pleasure to collaborate with Alma and to organize such events. So we have today 16 participants. I think it is the right moment to speak about the program deeply with the chefs, to discover what are the program content and how we have built these full programs in France and Italy. It is a short introduction, but we will go then deeply in the subject. But welcome to all of you, and thank you for your participation.
Thank you, Thibaut, for this short summary of what we're going to do today. In fact, after this welcome and introduction, we will have an interview of the 2 chefs. And then together with Thibaut, we will go through the course schedule, the services, the registration process, and of course, we will stay with you until the end for any curious questions and doubts that you may have by the end of the presentation. So first of all, we would like to introduce to you Chef Luc Debove, Director of Education at NSP, and Matteo Berti, Chef Matteo Berti, Director of Education here in Alma. And we would like to start with a short interview to both of them. So the first one we will interview, and the first question is for Luc Debove, which is why we wanted to create a joint program between ESPN and Alma in French and Italian pastry.
I think it's an amazing opportunity for the students. Between 2 schools and 2 countries with a lot of speciality. I think it's an amazing opportunity. And of course, it's a premium program. It's the first time to make a premium program, the best in Italy and the best in France in the same time, for the 2 countries for gastronomic destination. I think it's impossible to dream the best.
I think just to add, maybe we were mentioning together with Luc that this is also ideal because Alma and École Ducasse NSP, we have a lot of similarities. We are the same. The students in Italy, they are working in a palazzo di Colorno. And in France, this is the Château de Montbarnier. The program content are more or less similar also. We have the same approach of education. So I think that the way and the understanding is the manner that we are building the programs are the same. But then, of course, this is the interview of the chef. I was just adding a few words in English, but if you want to add a few words in French or whatever.
But it's a great opportunity to learn the specialty on the 2 schools and or 2 countries in the same time. I think it's amazing.
Okay, thank you Thibaut, and thank you, Chef. So to summarize the vision that we had together, it's a 3-month course, 1 month at INSP in France, 1 month at ALMA here in Italy, plus 1 month of optional internship for all the students that want to go farther in their education with real life experience. The language of the course will be English, although we promote the experience of French and Italian during the courses. And of course, we will go through demonstration and practice lessons as well. Next intake will start on April 28th. So it's the spring intake. So the next question is about the program philosophy and the goal of the course. So this question is for Chef Matteo Berti, and we will go to have a little bit of an Italian experience. So I will ask the chef to express his thoughts in Italian. So, qual è la filosofia e l'obiettivo del corso, chef?
Buongiorno, ciao Thibaut, ciao Luca. Sicuramente la filosofia è la possibilità, perché prima di tutto c'è una possibilità di vivere le due grandi realtà gastronomiche, italiane e francesi.
Okay, let me also translate in English for those of you who do not speak Italian that well. So the first philosophy is to give people the possibility to experience both the Italian and French gastronomic experiences and heritage.
Vivere in due luoghi dove c'è un'identità forte sotto l'aspetto del cibo, della cultura gastronomica francese-italiana.
Live in two countries that have a strong identity under the enogastronomical point of view, so in France and in Italy.
E poi, come giustamente ha detto Thibaut, siamo due realtà che ci assomigliamo in maniera veramente importante sotto l'aspetto culturale. Quindi la Francia, quindi l'identità sarà che la scuola francese metterà in campo le loro specialità francesi e noi italiani metteremo in campo quella che è la nostra identità di cultura italiana. Quindi l'obiettivo è la possibilità di vivere due culture in un tempo brevissimo, dove ci vorrebbero magari 10 anni di carriera per raggiungere certi risultati.
So the philosophy is also that we base our experiences in two schools that are very similar in terms of approach to the teaching of the pastry arts. The idea is to give the possibility to students to live the Italian excellences as well as the French excellences in a very short period, very concentrated experience, which is comparable to what maybe a normal professional would do in a few years of work and professional experience on its own. So the idea is to give a very compressed and 100% experience on the true excellences of France and Italy. So the next question goes a little bit deeper into the content of the course and is for our French partners to go deeper into the program outline in France. So, Chef, what is included in the French portion of the program?
Of course, in the first week, the tarte and entremet, it's a specialty of France, of course, the big name for the specialty of France. But you see only showbread, you see only paste for make amazing entremet or for make amazing tart. And just for the first time, you have a lot of proteins in a laboratory, because I think it's very interesting to see and to make in the same time. And this course is very important for this in Italy and in France, in ALMA and in INSP. It was a lot of work in laboratory. And for tart and entremet, you have old conception and a new conception, because now you have a best evolution, and people looking every time the sweetness, looking the fat, and maybe finishing to make a presentation. I think it's very important to make the best in this moment.
We are going to see also healthy dessert, correct?
Yes, of course.
Into this model, tradition and innovation.
Tradition and innovation in the same time, yes. The second week, bread and viennoiserie. Of course, France is very famous for the bread and the viennoiserie, and because the flour it was different for Italy, and it's very important to see the difference with the ingredient in Italy and in France. And for this preparation, you see the new viennoiserie and the traditional bread. After the next week is the plated dessert. Of course, in France, it's a specialty of plated dessert, and for see the process was different for entremet and for tart. And every time it's very interesting to see the process, to see the ingredient, to see the conception for make amazing dessert of a plate. Because when you go to test a plate dessert in a famous restaurant, of course you don't understand the noise with a spoon. Just it's very easy to eating, but after you have a lot of sensation in the same time when you eat your plated dessert. You have a crispy, you have a smoothie, you have a fondant, you have a ice cream in the same time. And I think it's very interesting to see this conception in France. And for finish the week in France, sugar pieces, artistic pieces with a full sugar, with a low sugar, and to see the conception and to make it in 1 week amazing piece.
Yeah, just maybe two things to add. The program will be completed with demonstrations from our chefs or from MOFs or world champion if we have it on campus. So, for example, Luc or others. And also it will be completed with a field trip to Valrhona Chocolate Factory, which is, we guess, an important source, an important excursion for all the participants. So as Luc was mentioning, the idea of this program was to have a dense program with all the traditional recipes, French recipes, tradition and innovation. So the idea is to bring you a step further with the innovation, with the plated dessert, with the new usage of sugar, for example, and so on. So it is 1 month, as Luc was mentioning, very, very intense, because our idea is excellence in practice. So we believe in repeating the gesture until you master it. And we have the same philosophy as ALMA. And of course, we are open to question. We'll keep it for the end of the presentation. But that's the idea around this 1 intensive month in France at INSP.
Okay, thank you so much, Thibaut, and thank you, Chef, for the deeper explanation of this summary, so of the 4 weeks that you see here. So first week, tradition and innovation, second week, bread and viennoiserie, third week, plated desserts, and finally, sugar artistic masterpieces. Now it's time for Chef Matteo Berti to go through the outline of the program in Italy. So, Chef, what is included in the Italian part? Cosa c'è nella parte italiana?
Sicuramente quello che abbiamo cercato di fare è di lavorare a 4 mani, quindi quello che è stato presentato dal maestro Luc e da Thibaut è l'essenza di quello che verrà fatto, perché poi dobbiamo anche ricordarci il fatto che i pasticceri girano intorno a delle ricette, quindi andranno a casa con ricette vere, pensate e vissute sotto l'aspetto proprio anche gastronomico ma anche culturale, quindi un ricettario estremamente complesso e completo. E quindi quello che hanno fatto in Francia, che faranno in Francia nel primo passaggio, nel secondo passaggio noi lo rivedremo in alcuni contesti replicando o cambiando.
Okay, so what the chef said is that what you're gonna see is a work, a 4 hands work. So what you're gonna see in France, you will also see it in Italy, and you will see it either in the same way or in a totally different way. So you will see the same thing with the French approach and with the Italian approach. The idea is that pastry chefs work mainly with the recipes. So one thing that you will experience is a strong recipe knowledge and a strong recipe experiences seen both with the French touch and with the French interpretation, as well as with the Italian touch and with the Italian interpretation.
Quindi abbiamo pensato sicuramente di fare dei dolci classici italiani, in modo che si possa vivere, per chi non ha mai vissuto l'Italia, quello che è il grande gusto italiano, per poi passare immediatamente al dessert al piatto. Il dessert al piatto, essendo noi una scuola identica a quella di Saint-Just, ma abbiamo anche la parte di cucina e di servizio, faremo proprio il servizio del dessert al piatto con una clientela che verrà e ordinerà. Quindi cerchiamo sempre di mettere qualcosa di vero, in modo che venga fuori anche il profilo dell'allievo, se poi è più dotato sul dessert al piatto piuttosto che tutte le altre situazioni che andranno a leggere in un secondo momento.
So the first thing we will start with is the great classical Italian dessert. This is to give an experience for those of you who have no experience with the Italian tradition in the pastry arts, and to teach you the real taste of the Italian desserts. And the second thing we will go through is the plated desserts as well. And the reason is that we want to create a real experience, and then we will simulate here in Alma as well a service. Since, as also École Ducasse is, we are a school with different subjects as well, and culinary arts and service are part of our school as well. So we will simulate a service also to lead the students to understand whether they are more interested or keen or related to the plated desserts and therefore restoration and catering service, or a more classical pastry laboratory approach.
Esattamente. Dopo abbiamo pensato di fare il gelato, non perché in Francia non sappiano fare il gelato, perché poi Luca è proprio un moff, è dedicato a questo, quindi Luca è estremamente preparato sul gelato, però come identità giustamente noi ci piaceva portare quella che era l'identità del gelato italiano con tutte le sue diramazioni, perché poi dal gelato si può passare, c'è la granita, c'è il sorbetto, c'è l'identità della Sicilia con la granita siciliana, quindi oltre che insegnare tecnicamente, perché la difficoltà del gelato non è saper fare il gelato ma è costruire la ricetta, quello di fargli vivere quello che è il gusto del gelato, facendogli incontrare dei gelatieri italiani, quindi dei professionisti che lavorano sul campo, che vengono a insegnare quello che è il gelato italiano.
So in the second week, as a second step, we will go through the Italian artisanal gelato. The reason is that the gelato is particularly strong into the Italian tradition, and not because in France they're not able to, because as Chef Matteo Berti mentioned, Chef Luc Dubov is actually a moth in ice cream as well. So we are sure he's really, really good at making gelato. With the gelato, we will go through also all the derivatives that are related to the gelato world. For example, sorbettos or granitas, or the Sicilian granitas, which is in itself a tradition. And therefore, we will go deeper into what is the tradition, and not just how to make gelato, but the recipe behind the gelato making, because that is the hard part. So how to really mix the different ingredients to make the correct recipe and therefore make the perfect Italian artisanal gelato.
Quindi questo lo dico perché per far capire quanto abbiamo collaborato insieme, no? Le due scuole, decidendo proprio a monte che percorso far fare un allievo per poi passare al cioccolato, visto che in Francia vedranno lo zucchero artistico, noi faremo il cioccolato artistico. Questo è sempre per dare una completezza e non una differenza, cioè non c'è una competizione, perché la cosa bella di questo corso è che abbiamo veramente collaborato, siamo fieri di mettere insieme quelle che sono le nostre capacità e soprattutto l'incontrare delle persone, perché l'altra parte fondamentale è l'incontro con i maestri che potranno avere in Francia e che potranno avere in Italia. Quindi la parte di cioccolato lo faremo con la pralineria, con il gusto italiano, quindi utilizzando quello che sono le caratteristiche del gusto italiano, e per l'artistico faremo invece, mentre in Francia fanno lo zucchero, noi faremo il cioccolato.
Okay. So the chef wants to underline once again how much we collaborated and how much the different weeks are planned to be a mixture of our abilities and our skills. This is why in the third week, if you see the artistic sugar in France, you will see the artistic chocolate here in Italy. And you will go through the Italian taste in the chocolate arts with the Italian pralines. This is just to give you an idea of how much we collaborated together to put down a complete path through the main skills of France and Italy. The other very important thing is meeting important chefs, meeting people from different cultures and different backgrounds. So how you will be able to meet with very important chefs in France, you will also meet very important chefs and professionals here in Italy. I didn't mention here before, but the chef did in Italian. You will see the Compagnia dei Gelatieri, so the gelato making company, for the gelato part. You will also meet great Italian professionals with the chocolate artistic lessons as well.
Sì, e poi continuiamo, mentre in Francia sulla parte degli lievitati abbiamo deciso insieme di affrontare loro la parte di vienneseria e di pane classico italiano, francese, scusate. Noi faremo il nostro pane classico italiano, quindi anche qui portarsi a casa un panorama, e poi faremo quello che è la parte fondamentale dell'Italia, che è l'utilizzo del lievito madre, e quindi quello che è il classico panettone, pandoro, colomba, quindi i lievitati non sotto la parte della vienneseria, perché già la fanno in Francia, ma faremo quello che è il classicismo italiano, quindi l'utilizzo del lievito madre.
So, last but not least, the yeast products, yeast leavened products. As in France, you will see the breads, the typical French breads, and the viennoiserie. In Italy, you will go through the mother yeast products, which is typical of the Italian tradition, as well as the great leavened products, typical Italian products such as panettone, pandoro, or colomba. This is just to give a complete panorama of the leavened products that you can see in the French and Italian pastry tradition.
Direi che l'abbiamo elencato tutto. Ci sarà anche una nota sul dessert al piatto, ma l'avevamo detto, della piccola pasticceria, che sono le parti gli obiettivi che abbiamo pensato che devono toccare gli allievi per uscire con un panorama sia di cultura, ma poi anche di manualità e di obiettivi veri per un domani poi entrare nel mondo del lavoro.
So, as the chef mentioned, last but not least, you will also see the Italian-style petit four, or the small pastry, as well as the plated desserts in the Italian side. And this is just to give you a complete round overview of what the French and Italian gastronomical pastry traditions are. I would also add that there is a final exam, c'è un esame finale, at the end of the Italian part.
Lo faremo in Italia, l'abbiamo deciso anche questo insieme alla scuola francese, in modo da poter valutare quello che abbiamo dato e quello che abbiamo raccolto e quello che l'allievo ha compreso durante tutto il percorso. Quindi in Italia faremo la parte di verifica, che deve essere anche un bel momento di messa in gioco per vedere quanto siamo riusciti a trasmettere le due scuole, quindi è anche un momento di chiusura e di bellezza, insomma.
So yes, at the end of the residential part, therefore in Italy, at the end of the 4 weeks, there will be this moment with a final exam. It is an exam, it is actually a moment to understand how much we were able to put into this course and how much you were able to gather and get back from the course in itself. And it is meant to be a moment where you can enjoy and share your vision that you got from this two countries' experience. And so this is about it for the contents of the course. I don't know if Thibaut and Chef Luc, do you have anything else that you would like to add?
I think just talking in Italian and after in English. Allora, solamente che abbiamo dei prodotti che sono fantastici dai due paesi. Ogni paese ha le sue specificità. In Italia c'è il mascarpone, ci sono il pistacchio di Bronte, ci sono le nocciole di Piemonte, ci sono tanti ingredienti che sono famosissimi. In Francia abbiamo i nostri ingredienti che hanno quelle particolarità, come dicevo prima, la farina, qualche zucchero diverso, anche il cioccolato, e per quello che è un corso che andiamo a dare entre i due paesi, entre le due scuole, che sarà famosissimo, perché qua gli studenti vanno a imparare con i prodotti più migliori di ogni paese. Questo è fantastico. Però adesso vado a dire in inglese, sarà un po' più...
E dopo in francese.
Dopo in francese. Allora,
intanto grazie per aver parlato in italiano, Luca, è sempre bello sentirti parlare in italiano, grazie.
Well, I think it's incredible for this course, because in two countries you have a best ingredient. In Italy you have pistachio di Bronte, you have hazelnuts from Piemonte, you have mascarpone. You have only ingredient is amazing in Italy, but in France it's the same too, with a specialty for France, with a sugar, with a chocolate, with a flour. And I think in the same time you have an opportunity to see and to learn with the best for each country. And it's amazing for the next time, for when you go to work in the reality for every day.
Perfectly, thank you.
Okay, so thank you, Thibaut, and thank you, Chef, for this last thoughts and words, and thank you for talking in Italian as well. I think this really shows the concept that we had behind, which was to share. I think share is the key word of this program. Share experiences, share traditions, share cultures, and learning from the two main cultures when it comes to pastry tradition, maybe in the whole world. Yes?
Chi è che può vivere per 2 mesi in una reggia in un castello?
Exactly. So it's also the opportunity to live in a castle and in another castle for 2 months. So, and in a reggia. So yes, it's an incredible experience, and it's about sharing of experiences and sharing of traditions. I would like to thank the chefs for a second. We can go back to them with final questions. If you have any, please write in the chat, and feel free to share any thoughts, any questions, any doubts that you would like us or the chef to get back to you with. I think now it's about time for me and Thibaut to go a little bit deeper into technical details. So Thibaut, maybe you want to share a little bit about the program schedule?
Yes, we wanted to get back to you about the schedule, of course, for this program. So we organize everything. So I would say that as soon as we know that we have completed the group, we are going to pick up the group at Lyon-Saint-Exupéry Airport, which is the closest airport for us. It's 1 hour driving, okay? We pick the students or the participant, I would say in this case. We bring them at the castle. We organize a dinner all together. On Friday, we'll organize the induction day. So that means the presentation of the program, presentation of the chefs. We give you the toolkit, we give you the uniform. You will also have the uniform in Alma. You have the weekend to rest, because we believe it's very important. Because on Monday, then you will start in lab, either very early, 6 o'clock. It's not that early, but I would say that because we work in 2 shifts, so either morning shift or afternoon shift, but we will decide that later on. but then you will start the training on Monday in lab, and then for 4 weeks. We also organize the transportation to Alma, so it will be on the 28th of May. Our colleague in Alma will be there to welcome you, to show you also the accommodation, and to drive you to the school and so on. And you will then have 4 weeks training with them. During this 2 months period, you will also have the time to decide if you want to apply for an internship period, which is 1 month. It will be in common agreement with Alma, with our pedagogical team. So honestly, it will be Luc, Matteo Berti, the chefs will be deciding with you in function also of your wishes and the place where you want to go, and help you in order to facilitate your internship period. So you're lucky because you will benefit from the network of Alma, but also from École Ducasse, restaurants, palaces, best boutique in the world. So I think you have the largest choice that you can imagine. And I would say that's it. So at the end of this program, either you can be driven to Milan airport and get back to your countries, or to apply for the one month internship.
Thank you, Thibaut, for this presentation of the program schedule. So I'll just go a little bit inside the services included. Some of them you actually already mentioned. We have organized airport transfer from Lyon Airport to ANSP school at the arrival day. Also, the accommodation has been organized, and it's included in both countries. So you will be able to access the lodging or the housings, however you want to call them, both in France and in Italy, managed by the school. Is a shared solution. You will have basically apartments fully furnished and with all the services that you may need. Part of the course includes also the lunches during the days of school, so you will be able to have the main meal in the school canteen, both in France and in Italy. Of course, we will take care of the transfer from France to Italy in the middle of the residential part. And as already Luc has mentioned before, we will organize the airport transfer from Alma to Milan Malpensa for those of you who need to take a flight back home at the end of the residential phase. Of course, those of you who will decide to go on the traineeship phase, they will be able to move to the location of the traineeship. So, Thibaut, I think now it's time to explain them how to register for this course. So what are the next steps? What are the steps to register and therefore apply for the course?
So very easy. First steps to fill out the application form that you can find on the landing page that we have created for this program. We'll send you, as soon as you have filled your personal data, we'll send you the application form. We'll then organize an interview with each one of you in order to evaluate the level. And then you will receive a written confirmation as soon as we have all agreed with Alma jury that we can accept you on the course.
Thank you,
one important, sorry, Diletta, one important, very important point is the deadline for the registration is the 31 of March. So at the end of this month, of course.
Right, that's exactly what I was about to say. So not to forget the deadline for registration, which is at the end of the month. And this is for us to be able to organize everything, your arrival, and for those of you who are coming from outside Europe, make sure that you have no problem with your visa or arrival to Europe. Okay, so I think we have gone through most of the questions and most of the topics. Now it's time for you to share with us your questions on the chat. We already have one, so I'm gonna read it out loud, and then I don't know if maybe Thibaut Maybe this is something you or the chef could answer, for example. So the question is actually two questions in one. What will be outlined is a professional figure with unique characteristics that unite the two most important realities of pastry in the world. So is that correct? And the second question would be, what value will have the certificate that will be obtained with this course compared to the other courses, meaning the other courses of each school?
So regarding the value of the certificate, we, as ALMA, we are a private school. So it is recognized by the world, by the industry. We have in our assets all the success stories, so part of our alumni that are now world best chefs, I would say. So some of them are Morphs, world champion, or some of the best pastry chefs in the globe. But as we are a private institution, it is a private certificate, so recognized by the industry. Maybe you want to add a few words, Diletta, on that or not?
Sorry? Yes, Thibaut. So I think one of the main issues here is that I'm thinking about the last part of the question, is that we are sharing an experience between two schools. So the difference in value between this course and one of the two schools alone is that you have a complete experience, a 360 degrees experience in two different traditions in the pastry world, and you can have all at once, and you can have in a short period of time. So in 2 months, you're going to experience two different important traditions, and you can gather the value of these two important traditions in a very short period of time. Chef, vuole aggiungere qualcosa?
Sicuramente la domanda è molto intelligente. Perché fare questo piuttosto che fare le due scuole? È molto intelligente come domanda. Sicuramente è l'ottimizzazione anche del tempo, perché se volesse fare i due percorsi nelle due scuole ci vuole molto più tempo, ci vorrebbero 6 mesi invece che 2 mesi. Questo è un corso, esatto, questo è un corso intensivo per dare la possibilità a chiunque di vivere le due realtà in un tempo moderato e raggiungere gli obiettivi con un tempo e anche economicamente con un risultato costerebbe molto di più, però sarebbe propizio anche farlo da tutte le due parti.
So the chef said it's a very smart question, actually. And of course, there are two main issues related to choosing this course. One is that all at once you can have a path that shares the two traditions, which in terms of time is a good thing, because you wouldn't have to spend 6 months in Italy and 6 months in France doing different courses. And also economically, you don't have to spend the money of 2 different courses. This is a very intense course that wants to push in 2 months such an important experience. So it's a very demanding course, but a complete course.
Sorry, Diletta, maybe
yes?
something to add about that.
Of course.
It is also because it is a tailor-made program. So everything that you will find in this program is different than all the other programs that you can propose either at TNSP or in ALMA. What I mean is, of course, at TNSP, we have a large range of programs, but the idea with this one is to collaborate with our partners and to bring something new and to give you the opportunity to see everything. French techniques and French traditional techniques and recipes and modern one, and the same in the Italian part. So I would say it is totally different because the syllabuses, the program content are different.
Yes, yes, thank you, Thibaut. And I think this partly answers next question, which is, at the beginning, it had to be a 4-month course. So 2 months in France, 2 months in Italy, and became a 2-month course. So 1 month in France and 1 month in Italy. So will there be enough time to cover all the topics that we shared today. Of course, yes, and it is because we have a small group and we work on, let's say, on a tailor-made basis and in collaboration with each single student. So I don't know, Thibaut, if you also have the same idea behind, but I think this is the main key. So we have a list of a syllabus, so a list of subjects that we will go through, but we will work and collaborate with each single student because it's such a small group that we will be able to follow each student in their growth.
Absolutely, absolutely. Why we took this decision to reduce the duration of the program? To be perfectly clear, it is mainly because of COVID. We had to reduce the time period because it was difficult for the participant to obtain their visa. So with this format, 1 month plus 1 month, plus 1 month of internship, so 3 months maximum, for the participants coming from all around the world, they have the opportunity to obtain their visa. In terms of content, there is no loss because always, from 1 month or 2 months, we always work on 1 week per module. So we had to make a selection, of course, and to reduce to 4 weeks in each country. But there is no loss in terms of, I would say, quantity in function of the duration. That's the point.
Thank you, Thibaut. Okay, I see one last question, which is about the traineeship phase. So the stage, we say in Italian. I think it's also a French word. So how it is assigned, how it is decided where they're going to go. I would like to share this question with the chefs. Chef Matteo Berti, come viene proposto lo stage? Come si sceglie lo stage?
Lo faremo su misura, è un corso, come abbiamo detto, pennellato sull'allievo. Ci saranno delle questioni che dobbiamo decifrare durante il percorso in base alle capacità anche dell'allievo. Questa è la prima cosa che dobbiamo appurare. E poi pennelleremo sull'allievo, perché poi potrebbe essere che sia più adeguato a un ristorante piuttosto che una pasticceria, ma verrà fuori dal percorso e verrà disegnato intorno all'allievo in base anche alle capacità dell'allievo, perché questo poi fa sì che lo stage diventi un elemento formativo e non distruttivo.
Okay, so the chef was saying that each single traineeship is tailor-made on the student. It is based on the student abilities, on the student skills, and on the student interests. We will understand together with the chef instructors and the students if their interest, for example, is more related to the restaurants and the catering service rather than to the pastry laboratories. What are the interests of the student, which is the level of preparation of the student that they have reached by the end of the 2 months, to try and pin and understand which is the best structure for them. The idea of the traineeship for us is that it should be a formative moment and not a destructive moment. It's not a moment of stress. It's a moment where you can put in practice everything that you have learned and move it forward with your educational path. I don't know if Chef Devav would like to add something.
No, I think Matteo is talking very well for exercise. I think perhaps for finish the training for 2 months, I think it's very important to make a diploma, to obtain the diploma, and it's not a fake diploma. I think it's a very interesting diploma because you have 2 schools, 2 great school, and 2 schools is looking what you learn in the 2 months together, and behind after is very fantastic to have this diploma with a signature for the two schools, because it's not a joke, it's a reality for the level.
Thank you, Chef. I don't see any other questions. Thank you, and thank you for your questions. It's always important to share doubts, and this is a very important moment because we have the chefs here with us that can answer any other doubts that you may have. So we'll just give you a few more seconds if you still have questions to share with us. I would like to share with you our contacts, so you can also reach us through the website. There is a request for information form, so you can reach us through the website, or you can write also directly to admission@alma. Let me write it down on the chat for everyone. It's admission@scuolacucina.it. So I have also shared this on the chat. Thibaut on École Ducasse side and me on Alma side, we are always available to have an open discussion with you, to be in touch with you. If you have any other questions in the next days, or if you would like to have more information or let's say information on the process for enrollment, we are always available to support you in the next steps. I don't know if Thibaut and Chef, would you like to add anything?
Final word, I would say thank you for joining the webinar. My last thinking is just about, I think that what we are offering every day today in Issingeaux, which is the small village in France. You all know Asterix. We are almost the same. What I would say is today the idea of becoming a chef is to start and be prepared in France, to travel to New York, in Tokyo. And this is what we try also to offer through this course. It's to give you the opportunity to join two of the best schools in the world, to deliver the best education that you can find right now on the pastry field. And the idea is to expand your awareness and develop your cultural sensitivity. So that was my final word. Of course, as you were mentioning, Diletta, I'm of course available if you have any question about the program in itself with our colleague in Alma. It is always a pleasure to see you, and we look forward to meet you on campus.
So thank you, Thibaut, and thank you, Chef Debove, for this four-hands joint webinar about the French and Italian Pastry Arts Diploma. I really hope that it was informative for all of you that have participated. And of course, we're always available for any further information if you have any other doubts in the next days. I really thank Chef Debove and Chef Matteo Berti for joining us today. Their agenda is super, super tight, so they were really doing their best to be here with us today and to talk to you directly. So I want to thank both of them for their availabilities and for being here today. And I thank also Thibaut for the collaboration and the support that we had together to create this webinar, joint webinar. For all of you to be able to participate and to hear the voices of the two schools. I really hope to see you all in Alma, Issingeaux first, and Colorno afterwards. And I really hope that your passion in the pastry arts will lead you forward in your career. Have a good evening or a good day, depending on which part of the world you're coming from. And we'll be in touch soon. Have a good day.
Io voglio abbracciare tanto Luc Debove e Thibaut. Un abbraccio grande dall'Italia.
Grazie mille, un abbraccio anche a voi. Grazie a tutti.
A strong hug and goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Ciao.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.